Welcome to the Spoils Podcast. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Sitting here with Billy Bosch from Good Breeze here in Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm stoked to sit down with you because I've come 3 years in a row now to the Foil Surf Race League,
Yep.
and I've maybe had 10 sentences with you. You know,
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of time to talk with people during this, so it's
I know.
always tricky. It's go go go, and then which is one thing I always say. I'd love to be on the other end of it one day and be able to just like relax and enjoy and hang out with everybody because they got so many cool people and so much talent in one place. It's like, man, I wish I could sit back and enjoy this a little bit, but it's still fun.
It's busy, and I came here planning to do. I'm like, I'm gonna do 6 podcasts. I'm gonna sit down with people, and then
Yeah,
the day just gets like it's just gone. Like
yeah. The
7 o'clock
weekends
in the
blur.
morning we start. I almost missed my first heat.
You and a lot of other people.
Yeah, I was like 7 o'clock rolling up. It's a little bit chilly. Conditions they're fine. They weren't flat. They were just
Yeah,
subpar.
I think it's our smallest year yet. I mean, for 6 years we've been pretty lucky. So I mean, we still haven't had a flat day, knock on wood, but it was better
Yeah.
than nothing.
When I rolled up, it looked like a lake, and I was like, "Oh man, what am I gonna do out there?" I was like, "I don't know if I'm going." And you were pretty bummed, and
Yeah,
I was like, "You know what?" Then I saw like the set come in. And there was like a little wave, and someone was shredding on it. I was like, "Dude, we're on foils. Like,
doable. That's the
you got
beauty
it."
of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the format changed a little bit this year, but I want to get into the Foil Surf Race League a little bit
Okay.
later,
Sure.
because that's why we're here, and you had a busy weekend, so your
Yeah.
head's full of it.
Oh yeah.
But for the people that don't know you and I don't know you, which
Mhm.
is it's cool. That's why I love this thing, because I would never call you up and be like, "Hey, Billy, you want to go have a coffee and talk?"
Right, right.
Like it just doesn't happen anymore. So we have chats in between you being busy on the phone or you're at the event, and then we get little bits and pieces, but I don't
Right.
really know where you come from, how you got into the industry. I have a shop, you've got this big shop, and we've started from something, surfing, kiting, and now
Yeah.
it's Good Breeze kiteboarding. It
Yeah.
was.
That's how we
Now
started.
it's all moving
It's
over a lot more
transitioned
towards
and
foiling.
spread out. Yeah. Yeah.
So how'd you get into it? Like, what's the
Well, let's see.
basics
I
and
mean,
the shop
I've
and
been surfing and doing kind of action sports most of my life, and a lot of my friends, I moved away from Fort Lauderdale area, and my friends were all kind of got into windsurfing when I left that area. And windsurfing was one of those things. I was like, yeah, it looks okay, but not really for me.
mm,
And then after I moved away, and then they all started kiteboarding right shortly after that when it first kind of became a thing. I was like, okay, that's cool. So I went and kind of got like a basic instruction from one of my buddies and was like bought some gear that got ripped off on it, ended up blowing up on the
what
beach.
year was this?
This was probably 2003,
Okay, yeah,
maybe
super early.
2000, yeah, 2003, 2002, somewhere in that range. So I was actually still in high school at that time. So I was like right before I was graduating high school, and bought some stuff. And then I went to college in Gainesville and went to UF. I was getting my engineering degree there and was going through all that. And I would, on the weekends, I'd go and get dragged down the beach and trying to learn how to kite, and then got torn up so many times. And then I started buying gear used that I could find, and then I would use it for a few sessions, teach a friend or somebody else, and then I'd sell them my gear. And
Mm.
then like kind of just kept doing that, and I kept kind of upgrading slowly, slowly. And I was like, ah, there's something to this. It's so new and so fresh. And then in the summers between classes, I would come here to Cocoa Beach and I would work as a surf instructor. And I worked at the Ron John Surf School.
Oh, cool.
And my family has roots here. My grandpa was a developer here back in the day. So I kind of came here on and off growing up, and I always loved the area. And so I do surf lessons, I started running surf camps in the summers. And then the guy who owned the surf school, his name was Craig Carroll. He was an old pro surfer. At one point I was like, we need to get into this kiteboarding thing. It's like a new thing. Like you got a place here, you already kind of have a thing. Like we should do it. And at first he's like, nah, no,
I mean,
no.
Ron John it's huge. Like
Yep.
I didn't know they owned all of that and the parking lot and like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do they own this shop, this
They do not
building?
own this shop, this
No.
building. No, this is actually an engineering group that owns this building. So we just rent this. But I then they have licensees underneath them. So like the owner of the Ron John Surf School was a licensee, so he
Mm,
didn't really like work for Ron John's. He had his own surf school, and he kind of used the name.
right.
So I started working with him. Like one day while I was in college, he called me up one day. He's like, "Hey, I know you've been talking about this kiteboarding thing for years. Like, I think you're right. I think we should do something with it." He's like, "I know you still got some years at school. Like, I kind of want to start sooner." I'm like, you know what? Like I got a year left of school. Like I'll just commute and finish this. Like let's do it. And so I moved. I kind of just packed up and moved here to Cocoa Beach and commuted. So I started. I would go to class like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I would come back here, and it's a 2.5 hour drive. And I would work all weekend and like do lessons and get the thing started. And I go back and do it again. I did that for like a year and a half while I started everything. And we kind of partnered up a little bit. He already had a building where he was doing surf lessons out of. So we kind of operated out of that building
Mhm.
and had an agreement. And then we worked with Ron Johns and even got like the name Ron John Kiteboarding
Yeah,
as a
there's a
licensee.
sign
Yep,
outside.
which we still operate as. So it kind of worked out well. We just have a relationship with them. You know, we send them people, they send us. It gives one more thing for them to offer, and
Yeah,
gives us some legitimacy with the name at first. And yeah, that worked out well. And we've bounced around from building to building. I think we've moved like 3 or 4 times. Like Ron John's bought a big building next door, next to the 7-Eleven over here. We moved into that. It was great. And then a year, 2 years later, they decided to just demolish it just to make more parking spots. And
yeah,
it's crazy. So we've kind of bounced around, but we've been here now for I think 4 years,
yeah.
which is a great spot. It's
It's hard
small,
it's hard to
but
find a location for, a kite shop.
yeah,
Location is key.
it is.
For lessons, I mean, I don't know how you do it here, but you've gotta be running out of a van because you're not
Yeah.
on the beach, so logistics and stuff make it a little bit difficult,
For sure. When
right?
we have a van that we pull jet skis with, and it's
How many
packed.
vans have you had?
7. They rust away like that.
Eric told me, he's like,
Oh
"Dude,
my god.
ask him about his van life," you know?
Yeah, and it's always I mean, we're always underneath it. Like my instructors are also mechanics now. Like they've all like fully learned the hard way. Like we're under the vans a lot, and same with the jet skis. It's
Yeah.
constant
Don't
maintenance.
don't tell me about the jet
Yeah, I'm
skis,
sure you
dude.
know. And we actually today they just shut down our main teaching area to do construction.
Oh, I saw that.
So
We
like
we tried to go there yesterday.
yeah, like, yeah, yesterday they put the fence up. So like, and they were supposed to. They haven't given us a date forever. It's been moving. I mean, it's going to be nice in the long run. They're redoing it. They're putting a new
Nice.
boat ramp in, and it's going to be really cool. But it'll be shut down for like a year at least.
Damn.
Yeah. So luckily, we just kind of negotiated a thing over at another spot called Kelly Park,
Mhm.
and my guys are actually over there right now, getting stuff set up and kind of finalizing some things to operate out of there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
we had
tricky.
some, good wind yesterday. It started
Yeah, it's
shifting, right? It
cranking.
was turning once it hit, like, a little bit more westerly. It was awesome. I had
Yeah,
a great kite session. I
we're
did a
in the
kite
right direction.
session from Kelly Park to, I don't know, right down by the bridge. There's
Okay,
this
so just
spot.
off of 520. So the slick is right across the
Yeah,
street
so I
from me.
just went all the
Yeah,
way downwind because the wind was kinda weird, and then I took Eric parawinging from
nice.
Kelly Park. We did a downwinder,
Oh, really?
and he was just holding on for his life on that 4
He
meter.
was that powered up?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
he
That's
took a
probably a better
downwind
way to
board, a
learn.
1400. He's scared to be underfoiled.
Yeah,
It's tough, like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
parawing thing is so new, and he's still, he's kinda honing in his foil
Right, right.
skills, so he's just, like, holding on. I just see him, like,
Beelining.
full on
Uh,
parachuting downwind on the downwind board, like, "Wah!"
I imagine it's like winging where like you want to be overpowered to learn. Like
A little
if you're
bit.
underpowered when you're learning winging, it's like the worst experience
It's
ever.
painful, but at least with the wing, you can depower it. You
Right.
hold it. This thing is just
It's full
it's
time,
just
full or
lit all the time, and it's just
yeah.
flying all over the place, and you're climbing on the board. It's in the water. It's an experience. Have you tried it?
No, I mean, I've flown it on the beach a little
Yeah,
bit, but now that this event's over with and I have a little more time to kind of
yeah,
breathe, that's like kind of my goal. I mean, hopefully this week I'll get to play with one
yeah.
and try to get
I
out
I,
there. And
I think it's just gonna blow up all over the
I
place.
think so too. Yeah.
It's so much fun, and the guys that see it, they're like, "Oh man, that looks so cool!" And when they watch me do it, they're like, "Oh, it doesn't look that difficult."
Right. Right,
It's
yeah.
not that difficult, and like really, it's kind of like winging.
I imagine if you come from kiting and winging, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be easy.
the lines don't freak me out. They're like, "What about the lines?" And I'm like, "I don't know, you just do this,
Yeah, they're right
like,
there. It should be okay.
top it off."
Yeah.
So how long have you been here then
So I've
in
been
this
in this
location?
location, I think 4 years now,
And it was
4 or 5.
called Good Breeze?
Yeah, so Good Breeze, we always Good Breeze Kiteboarding.
Yeah.
We doing business as Ron John Kiteboarding. We have that license, and we kind of do things separately because they have limitations. They're very corporate. There's
Yeah.
limitations on what we can do with that name and how we use it and this and that. So we've kind of created our own brand at the same time, and our online stores and stuff like that. So that's all kind of just slowly
And
grown.
what do people know you for? Still Good Breeze Kiteboarding?
Yeah,
Because
Good Breeze. I mean, we
you have
kind
an
of switched to Good
outlet
Breeze Board
foil
Sports.
shop or something?
So, well, since our main stores, well, we have multiple websites. Our main
Yeah.
store was Good Breeze. Good Breeze Kiteboarding was our main site with lessons and stuff, and then we kind of created a kiteboarding closeouts as a website.
Mhm.
I started it to get rid of all our closeout gear because in the industry, I'm sure there's lots of closeout gear all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And like when I was first starting, it's like I need to find a way to move this stuff and not I need the capital. And so I created that website and just to kind of push the closeout stuff, and it became our main online store.
Huh.
And so that was kind of our our retail outlet for the website. And then when foiling became a thing, and we kind of jumped in that hard, and just like I caught my first wave on the foil, and was like, this is awesome. This is going to be a thing. And I was like, well, we have our website's kiteboarding closeouts. I want to transition that to not just kiteboarders, because there's going to be surfers that are going to be foiling. There's
Yeah.
going to be, windsurfers and all these others. So I want it to be something that's a little more inclusive of that. And I created Foil Outlet just as another website. And most of it's pretty much the same inventory. It's just a different branding to kind of capture the all ends of it, basically.
It's hard having all these different names,
It is, I
you
know, and
know.
it's been confusing at times and stuff, especially for us as well. But it's working.
Yeah.
It's tricky, but we try to kind of brand them all now. Hey, it's Good Breeze Foil Outlet. It's Good Breeze
Yeah, it needs to
Kiteboarding.
be
It's
pricey.
Kiteboarding Closeouts. Yeah, exactly.
I have the same. I come to the foil events and like, oh, so who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm Kite Puerto Rico, you know,
Right,
and,
right,
and I just don't know. It's so hard to like try
right.
to rebrand,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
kind of dive into this foil thing. So we did like an N1 surf shop, or
Yeah.
in Puerto Rico, people know me as Kite Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We're like, our shop is
Everything.
90% foil,
Really.
you know,
Yeah.
and 90% kite lessons, but really we just sell foil gear.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. It's a weird one, right? It's like if those things you think of, if you had known, you could do it all over again. There's so many of those things,
I
and
know.
it's like, man, if I could start from scratch, but you're so embedded, you got to try to figure it
And
out.
what was your nickname back in the day? Eric said that they called you Shred Bosch.
I think he's just making that up.
Really?
But I like it. We can go with it.
Like the
Shred
Shred
Bosch.
Boss?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they told me that and I didn't know about it, but
No,
I've never
no,
heard that
that's
one.
funny. When did you start foiling then? Like with a kite, I assume.
Yeah, I first started kiting. Well, actually, my very first foiling was behind a boat, just trying to on a kite foil. I mean, we were having trouble getting it. I got a big lift foil. It was like a 40-inch mast,
Hmm.
just massive thing, super sharp little blade. And we took it behind. I actually have a video of my very first foil, and I almost died. Literally, like we got behind the boat. My friend just like floored it.
Oh
I get
shit.
like launched, and I literally just land as the foil comes up. The
Oh
foil
my
hits
God.
me in the throat, and I go like this, and it hits me, cuts me here, cuts me here, cuts me all the way across. And the video is just like scary. Like I could give it to you if you want to
Yeah,
add
you
it to
should
this, but
definitely
basically
send
you
it to me.
land on it. I think it's 2010, 2009,
Yeah.
and I land on it, and I come up, and I can't breathe, and I'm like, and I go
No,
like this, and I see blood. I'm like,
no
I'm dead.
fucking way.
That's it. I just killed myself, and I'm like waving to the boat, and then like finally like I catch my breath. It just like knocked the wind out of me, but I did have a big cut here, a big cut here. I was like, all right, go a little slower this time.
So you jump back on it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was okay. I did it. I'm like, all right, we gotta go a lot slower. Now I know what not to do. I mean, that's
Yeah.
90% of these sports is like right, learning how to fall and learning what not to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so did it behind the boat a few times, barely got it, then got on the kite and struggled with that for a while. And then once it clicked with the kite, it was super fun. And then we started getting all the slingshot stuff, the old hover
Yeah, yeah.
glides.
I remember
And I
that
think I
started
saw
happening.
video Kai Lenich like paddling into a wave. I'm like, oh, we could do that, and put it on one of the bigger boards I had and
So
paddle
you were
out.
a surfer. Did you still
Yeah.
surf quite a bit?
Yeah, I still surf. I mean, I still surf to this day if
Yeah.
I can. Here in Florida, rarely I get days where I think it's good enough to surf, but
Yeah.
I travel a lot. I go to Costa Rica a lot and try to surf there when there's actual real waves.
Yeah.
But
When the foiling came out, all I saw was kite foiling.
yeah,
Like even if I saw someone surf foiling, it just didn't resonate with me because I just
yeah.
wasn't a surfer, so I just didn't get it. And
Right.
it never even like if I saw a clip, I'm sure I saw it, but maybe I didn't see it or I just didn't notice it. I
Mm.
just didn't notice it as being a thing.
Right,
'Cause I'm
right.
just so focused on kiting,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kite foiling and trying to teach that.
Gotcha.
Um, so the surf foiling just didn't. I didn't see it. So you guys must have been pretty early in the game, you know?
Yeah, I mean that was early. I mean, I have a picture of my first wave somewhere too. One of my friends was with, and that was I remember like looking at the date. I'm like, whoa, that was really early for that.
Yeah.
And
Because
yeah,
I was working with Jeremy Green
okay,
for a little bit, and that's when I first saw that people were buying foils to surf.
right.
And I was like, they're buying these huge
Yeah, we
go foil,
exactly. The Go foils were the first like ones we were really like actually
we
do
were
connecting waves
I
with. We're
think
like,
we
oh
were
my
like
god.
even I think in the shop we were chopping the mast down.
Yeah.
Did you have to chop the mast and
Yeah, we
like
were
make
doing all
sure it's all
kinds
the
of
way
stuff.
in?
We
Like,
chopped masts. We were making boards. Our boards were like all cockeyed because you'd take a surfboard and you'd like put the board on it, but the surfboard has all this nose
yeah,
rocker, so you're
with
like
like these
riding
sticky
like
mounts,
this.
like
Oh yeah, we still have the sticky mounts. You're sticking those to everything. We were making our own foils with our friend Keith here for a while and losing them in the ocean. They were breaking off, and Yeah, we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
But it was fun, and finally started to get bigger and bigger. And then I remember I shot the pier one day with the foil. I'm like, I got to be the first person to have shot this pier, And I was like, that's great.
that's
But,
cool.
super fun.
How did the Foil Surf Race League come about? Because this was
Yeah,
the sixth
sixth
edition.
year. Yeah, sixth year of it.
How many people were at the first one?
Um, I looked. It was actually pretty good numbers. I pulled it up the other day. Someone asked me. I think it was like 20 or something. So like
Uh-huh.
not bad for like your first event.
Yeah,
We had done a few like practice runs on the beach, just like the local crew and stuff, and we had like maybe 7 people out there doing those. But I think their first actual FSRL event was in the 20s, so not bad. And this one we had almost 80. I think last year we were about the same number as 80.
yeah,
We also cut it off a little bit earlier. We capped our expression session at 40 this year just
yeah.
because so much to handle. But the
Yeah, the expression session just went on all day.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Well, because we also had the foil assist,
Yeah,
right?
and then we threw the sup races in that same day too. So it was those. That's we realized last year like we need to cap the expression session because the heats take a long time, and
Yeah,
like if you're doing 20 minute heats, which we did this time, you can only do so many in a day.
yeah,
And you don't want to have 10 people out there at once because you can't watch every trick.
yeah,
So we try to cap it like 5 or 6 out at once and 20-minute heats, and that seemed to work pretty well.
yeah. And
But
how did it come about? Like, why'd you decide to do that?
Well, I had been doing like events kind of almost one a year for a couple different reasons. I had done Ron Johns actually does a big beach and boards festival,
Mm,
which you were here for the last
yeah.
years. And so we would do an event with them every year. And for the first few, it was kiteboarding events.
Mm,
I used to help out after college. In college, I was big in the CKA, which is the Collegiate Kiteboarding Association. And then after college, I kind of tried to keep that running for a little while, but the colleges are so disorganized because kids come and
yeah.
go. So we couldn't really keep the clubs organized. But we would run a couple collegiate kiteboarding association contests, and then started doing when kite foiling became a ring. Did a couple kite foil races, and then we did one. I did one like just surf foil contest when it like with like 7 people when it first became a thing with the Waterman's Challenge that they do here. It's like an event for like the older surf guys do, kind of trying to incorporate everything. And then I had known Brian Grubb for a while, but one of the organizers of the Beach and Boards Fest was talking to Brian about doing a foil event, and we had already been doing foil events at the. He's like, you guys need to just talk and see,
Yeah.
and he had
And they
kind
were
of
doing it here in Cocoa Beach.
yeah, well, it was part of that Beach and Boards Festival, so he was like,
What happened this year? It
well,
was postponed
they were
or
supposed to be this coming weekend, so
uh-huh.
the weekend after our event, and we scheduled ours a different weekend to them just because it's logistically a lot easier. They got
Yeah.
so much going on, but they just canceled it because of the beach dredging because they're re-nourishing the beach, so they're bringing all that sand in,
Yeah.
and we were worried about it canceling our or move. We were never going to cancel. We were going to move if we had to,
Yeah.
but they just decided to cancel because it's supposed to hit their same weekend they're doing their
And
event.
how'd you guys know that the waves were gonna be literally only right there? Was that by
I
accident?
mean, we kind of scouted the sandbar, but we got pretty lucky on that. I mean,
Because
that's
I was sitting there and I was like, we were always a little bit further down,
mhm,
and I looked down and it's like literally flat.
right.
Like there was nothing and there was only a wave right in front of where we were.
Yeah,
And that's usually where the surf competition is.
right.
And
Well,
is that
that's
why?
we've
Is
kind
that
of watched the sandbars. I've gone out and seen you could tell where the rip currents were, and they kind of create the sandbars, and watched it a couple days. And we also were trying to push south a little bit just to in case that dredging made its way, we have an
yeah.
extra day or two because they were like it could be anywhere between like today or next or this weekend. So
Mhm.
like we kind of just squeaked in and got done. Otherwise, we would have had to move, and it would have been a pain in the butt. But
Was it better to not have that event and just be you
I think
guys
so.
alone?
I liked it
I
better.
mean, for us, it was cool because I mean, we didn't have the whole restaurant scene and everything,
Yeah.
but we didn't really have the time, honestly.
To do the other event.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like waiting time, but you always have to be like ready,
Ready. Yeah.
ready to go and like into the water because
Yeah.
you guys are just
For
slamming out
sure.
heats.
Yeah. No, I liked it better. It was logistically easier. We're not dealing with
We had more
that. A
parking.
lot more parking, a lot more like, yeah, just and everybody was kind of focused on us, not spread out. And so I think it was better.
Yeah,
I liked it. And I mean, it's nice to have that like scene, it is the scene. I have the food trucks and
yeah,
the surf contest, but we also had to be very careful that we don't get into the surf contest. And
yeah.
that's and that. Now it's like free range, you do whatever we need to do, and that makes it a little bit
And
easier.
I couldn't imagine doing a like a kite competition with the amount of people that are on the
Well, that's how
beach
I did it the
and
first few years, and that's why
right.
I was like, I had switched to foil events as soon as I could because I'm like, the kite ones were a nightmare. And plus, you never get wind, right? Like, you never get the wind you need. So it's like kite events are just such a struggle. That's why I was like, I want to be able to do something that we can almost do no matter what.
Yeah,
And then also, well, once I, again, going back to like talking with meeting or talking with Grubb, is like, I've always wanted to do something that was like not subjective. Like, that's why I started doing the kite races. It's like, it's not subjective. You either win the race or
yeah,
you don't.
yeah.
And so,
I love races,
yeah,
and that's I always
just
tell people like, well, I love the freestyle aspect, the surfing style, but racing, you clearly know there's a
exactly.
winner.
It's defined. The rules are set advanced. There's no, there's no
There's like,
subjective.
oh,
Yeah.
well, there's, when you're in the high end racing, there are debates and,
Right.
you who rounded what, who's in front of who. So there are some things that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
have like, what do you do? You challenge it or
Right.
you,
But it's pretty clear most of
yeah,
the time. Yeah.
yeah,
Those are usually like technicalities,
yeah.
right? Like, you can
But yeah,
figure
you
those
cross
out.
the finish line first, you win.
Right. But if two people do a backflip and who did it better,
Yeah,
like that's totally up to the person. It's hard to like
yeah,
say like that person did it better, so it's a different thing. And Brian came with a he had this idea for the races. He had been doing it, I guess, in Puerto Rico actually with Nick from Lyft. They had been like doing it just kind of for fun, where they would start at the point, they'd foil down, and they'd run back up the beach and do it again and try to go as fast as they could.
yeah.
And when
Nick likes running with his foil off the
yeah,
beach,
yeah.
apparently.
I was saying after this event, I was like, we should just create a video and call it "Running with Scissors" because that's
Yeah,
what it feels like when these guys are
dude,
running up the beach. I was
there's
like,
a
every time I
couple
was like, oh god, oh god, oh gosh.
there was a couple good falls.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. There was a
in the
couple that
race.
scared me,
Yeah,
definitely. But it's kind of everything. Everything that's worth it is a little scary, right?
yeah,
Everything's
yeah,
fun.
for
You
sure.
gotta have that element of risk. Um,
So Brian brought it about because of Nick,
yeah, he
and
had the kind of the concept, and when he started telling me about it, and I'm like, "This sounds great. Let's try it. Let's do some practice runs." And we got together, and the first few were real clunky, but then we started to figure out the format that we liked, and it's kind of evolved and changed over. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it this year at the beach and boards instead of doing a kite race or a regular. I was going to do a regular foil surf contest anyways, and I'm like, let's try this instead. It's a little more subjective and less subjective.
yeah,
And yeah, it was caught on. People seem to really like it. It's really fun. Started doing open series and a pro series. So like you can compete for money or you could just
yeah,
compete for fun and win prizes, which the prizes have gotten
yeah.
pretty good.
Sizable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've given away 10 grand worth of cash the last few years and plus some, like, I don't even know how much worth of gear, probably
If
another 10 grand worth of
if you
gear.
guys see someone register and you're like, and they register for the open, you're like, that guy's a pro. Have you seen it or
We've seen, I mean, I think there was a little bit of that last year. Well, I mean, a little bit here and there,
yeah,
but it's like you're competing for money or you're competing for
yeah.
just
The
prizes.
the
So
the
it's,
pro has money,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then the open is prizes
Yeah,
that are given by the sponsors,
right.
which is cool. Because man, I know like winning a prize as a pro, like you're gonna win a Northboard when you're a
Exactly. You're just
Armstrong
gonna
rider,
give
like
it away,
you're
throw
just
it
gonna
away,
sell
sell
it.
it, put on eBay,
Doesn't
whatever.
do any
Yeah, exactly.
promotion for anybody,
Exactly.
which is really tough. So yeah, money is a high motivator. I think Matteo walked away with like 3 grand
At
this
least,
weekend,
yeah, I
right?
think he got more than that because he won two first and then some in the race, right?
I'll read the results
Yeah.
so everyone knows like who won. I did like a little chat with Arlen and Eric
Yes. Yeah,
yesterday.
Arlen was stoked.
Yeah, let's see.
It was fun to watch him win that
Oh,
one.
dude, he runs super fast. I
Yeah,
was shocked. So you have expression session strapless. You had Mateo in first, Ryan RZ in second, and then Austin Toby in third. Um, and then straps, you had Mateo in first, Jeff Spencer in third, John Ackerman. And then the foil assist strapless, which was new this year, Ryan RZ again, Brian Grubb, and Gunther Oka. And Brian was actually on the lift,
Lift
right?
X. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool to see a little bit
Yeah,
different.
that thing's fun. We took it out in Pensacola when we did the race there this year, and it was played with it, and man, I was really impressed. It was my first time riding it. They're pretty awesome.
And then Ryan RZ got the Flow Award.
Yeah, Ryan
Yeah,
Ryan cleaned up pretty
dude,
good too.
he did really
He's
good.
advanced
And
tremendously in the
that's
last
who
few
I'm
years.
talking about. He registered in the Open last year or something,
Yes, he
or the
did.
year before.
Last year he
And I
did the
think
open.
I think I think at the end when he cleaned it up, he felt a little bit bad. He's like,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
think so too.
damn." I gave him shit. I'm like, "Bro, you're a pro, you know? You can't
Yeah.
like pump around us all
Yeah.
day and
But
then."
he's advanced a lot since last year
Yeah, that's
too.
true.
Watching him this year, I was like, damn, Ryan, you stepped up your game for sure.
And then the race was for the SUP, it was exactly the same.
Yeah, SUP, we were able to do our traditional FSRL
Yeah,
format basically,
yeah,
because
and
they don't really need the wave even. The guys
dude,
pumping up on flat water, it's
well, that's
insane.
what happened last year. There were waves, and there was still flat water pumping
Yeah,
out to go.
right.
And first was Finn Spencer, and then second Jeff Spencer, and then Gage got third place. And then the prone this year was a little bit different. It was a head to head,
Yep.
towed up by the ski,
Yep.
and then past a buoy, round a buoy, and then the open was a little bit different than the pro. But then you had to get off your foil and run up the beach,
Yep.
which was
It's
it's
action
just
packed.
carnage.
Yeah, a lot of guys made at low tide. It was tricky because
Yeah,
people were jumping off in shallower water than they thought in a long run, and I saw a lot of guys were making like a kind of a gentleman agreement, like, hey, we're past the
shouldn't have
buoy
passed
first,
the buoy.
especially till the finals. So it's
Yeah,
just like, all right, like
that
let's not hurt ourselves.
a lot of the pros decided to do that.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that's one of those things like we're trying to figure. This is our new format for us too. We did it last weekend in Pensacola for
Yeah,
the first time out of necessity, and thank gosh, I'm glad we did because we got a good dry run with a little bit smaller crew
yeah,
but it's fun. I like it. I mean, it could be done without the beach ending too,
yeah.
but
Yeah, like a longer course or rounding different buoys because
yeah,
the pros can do it,
yeah,
like as long as you know how to pump. Like I could pump around. I'm not fast at it.
right,
The coming off the beach and running, that's what killed me.
right,
Like it's so hard to like judge where you are, and if you like you dig into the sand, you're like off the front
yeah.
face first, trying to gather yourself. Where's your board?
But
It's
man, some of those
like,
guys had it so dialed. They would
dude,
come up, they just jump off the board and they catch it in midair
I
and
think it
they're
was
already running. I'm just like, how did you do
yeah,
that?
like Sawyer.
Yeah, Sawyer had it
Sawyer was
perfectly.
like in this much water,
Yeah,
like right to the end, like would kick it I don't even know how because his wing was had so much span. He'd like kick it up, he would grab it, and
I know.
he had
That
some
was
like
yeah,
he had just some.
he had that dial, that exit.
So Ed Otanes won first, Sawyer Wood was second, and then Mateo was third. So oh yeah, Mateo he
Yeah,
took home a bunch of prizes.
right.
And then the Open, Arlen Miller,
Yeah, Arlen.
good job Arlen. First, Charles Friedman, and then Kai Cadler came third. So that was super cool, and there was some really good prizes there. There was an F1 skate, a North Vert, AFS board
Yeah,
for the
so
Open, and some wetsuit bags, and
almost the same value as the pro, really,
yeah.
with the gear.
And then Arlen and Charles, because Arlen's a North rider, he went to Charles like, "Hey, bro, you want this F1 skate? I'll trade you for the board."
Oh,
And
really?
he's like, "Yeah, I'm stoked for that
Oh,
foil." So they
perfect.
traded,
That's good.
and
Yeah.
then Arlen got to take home a vert, which he's
Perfect.
stoked
Well,
with
that's
because he
even
doesn't
I'm
have
glad
one.
that worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where we've always tried to like make sure people. That's why we did the open. Like, well, like if you're an open, you really shouldn't be too affiliated, and you can get whatever you want. But
yeah.
get what you win, and not be a problem.
I mean,
But
some people are gonna sell it, some people are not. Like
yeah, you do
it's
what you
just
want. Yeah,
part
it's
of it.
not necessarily the right size for you, but hey, you got something nice.
Yeah. Any other events you have, down the pipeline?
Oh man, not I haven't really thought about it.
It's
I'm
it's
just
it's
trying
a
to get through
lot,
this.
right?
Yeah, I'm beat. It was a lot. It's a lot. I mean, we did back to back weekends too with the Pensacola and then here,
Yeah,
so
that's
it
rough,
was
and
it
that's
was a lot.
far.
Yeah,
I looked, I'm like,
7 hour
Aaron's like,
drive.
"Hey, come down, let's go to Pensacola for the week." And I looked, I'm like, "Dude, I
Yeah,
land with you and drive like what, 11 hours or
it's
something?"
that. Well, from Orlando, it's like 6 hours. From
Okay,
here, it's
okay. So
7.
not
Yeah, I mean, it's
crazy,
still
but
a journey.
still.
Yeah, it's far. I mean, but it was a cool event. It was their first year doing we were with Foiling Week, which was a whole they've been in Italy for a long time, and they brought it to the US, and then it was in Pensacola, and we kind of launched that. We did our FSRL as part of their event, and it was cool. I mean, it's a beautiful venue. The water was amazing. The town's really cool. There was Mardi Gras weekend, so there was all kinds of parties and stuff happening there. It was fun. It was for sure, and I could see that growing. And now that we have a flat water format and we could do it there, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean with foiling it's cool that we can diversify, and
Yeah.
I'm sure all the pros are like, you know, they're happy with it. I didn't hear
Yeah.
anybody complain. I mean, there's jokes. They're like, "Wah," everyone's joking about it, that the conditions are,
Yeah.
what they are, but no one really cared that much. They all
Right.
had a good time. I didn't hear any complaints. I
That's
didn't
good.
hear anybody say anything bad about the event. Everyone's really there to just have a good time. So if I don't perform, I'm totally fine with it. I'd love to win something.
Right,
You're
right.
always here to
Yeah, you always
you're
wanna
always
win,
here to
right?
compete, but it's just so fun to hang out with everybody. Everyone's so much fun. Everyone's so inviting. It's
For
cool that
sure.
you've got all the brands here that they all want to participate
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
growing
everybody.
sport.
Even if we don't sell them, like, whatever, as long
Yeah,
as you just come support the event, it's
yeah.
awesome, for
And
sure.
everyone's, we're all hanging out in everyone's tent and we're all having a good time and there's always some business chatter here and there with it, which
Sure.
is part of it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
we're all growing in the industry. We all want to know what the ins and the outs are and
Yeah.
who's performing, who's not, and because I don't know what I'm going to sell next tomorrow,
Oh, yeah, for
but
sure. Yeah,
we
new
need to
brands
make some
come and
money.
go, really, yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's cool to come to your shop and travel around and meet, different people that are in the industry for so long because
100%.
it's not a I know it's not an easy business. I've been in it since, I
Same.
was 16. You've been in it since earlier.
Yeah.
You've been around for a long time. I don't know how many shops there are in Florida, but you've got to be close to one of the first. No?
Definitely close, yeah. Jupiter might have been a little before me because they were
Yeah.
like a kite shop, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um, but
I've
yeah.
worked with Jeremy Green
Yeah,
before. Like
yeah.
I helped him out in the shop, and
Right, so, you know,
he's a good friend, and he's out of the business now, which I'm
yeah,
really
he's living the
stoked for
dream
him,
now,
dude.
he's retired and
Yeah,
doing his thing. I'm
yeah,
happy for him too.
yeah. But yeah, it's cool to see that you've still got passion and like these events. I don't do events in Puerto Rico because I'm just overwhelmed with work,
Yeah,
It's
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 hard.
work, and I don't know if there's the reward is, sure there could be money involved, but really it's just about getting the community together and kind of growing the brand or
Exactly.
whatever. And
Yeah, these events don't really make that much money, if
yeah,
any. Like, we've pretty much either lost or broke even the last few years on the event itself. But
yeah,
yeah, like you said, it's about more promotion and building the brand and just doing something for the sport and let it
yeah.
grow, and that'll kind of work itself organically.
What's your favorite foils discipline? Like, what's
I
your favorite?
I like the tow foil right
Say
now.
foil drive. Just joking.
I do like foil drive. I have one on the back of my truck. For Florida here, it's
Yeah,
awesome. I can't. I get so many sessions where I would never be able to get out because, like, I'm always working and I get like an hour and before
yeah,
dark
no,
or
for
whatever. It's like
sure.
boom, that hour session is now like I've had a great time. Whereas if I try to just prone it in small Florida waves, I might be waiting 40 minutes for a wave to come through and catch it and then pump until I'm too tired.
Yeah,
But now it's like, yeah, hour session, no matter what.
yeah.
I'm
So toe
stoked.
foiling's your
But
favorite?
toe foiling would be my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, just because it's bigger when you're like when the
Usually
waves are
it's
bigger.
bigger and like you're already kind of relaxed once you get on the wave. You're not breathing heavy trying to paddle
Yeah,
into it and catch it and but you still have you don't have the weight of the foil drive or anything below you once you are up and you just yeah. So and you can get places that you wouldn't be able to normally get.
yeah.
But
And what's your favorite gear? Do you have a favorite, or you I kind of mix around and ride
yeah,
whatever.
I kind of ride whatever as well. There's so much good stuff out there. It's so hard to
Yeah,
pick. I've been playing mostly with the Armstrong HAs for foils itself. As far as boards go, I just switch whatever is in my hands at the time
yeah.
and everything else. And kites and wings, it's hard to pick at that
When's the
point.
last time you kited?
I'll kite here and there, and whenever it's, like, big, windy, and, like, the waves are big. Like,
Yeah,
I like a surfboard. Like, I'm twin tip, yeah. Like, I'll go out like, the slick 520 slick here is a killer north wind spot. Like,
yeah,
a north wind, it's butter flat,
yeah,
and you can just boost as high, looking over the road, jumping over the mangroves. It's really fun. So, I've been out there every once in a while doing that, but if it's big, like all the hurricane swells and like storm wind we get and overhead surf and a strapless surfboard, like that's what I really like to
What's
do.
the wind have to be to get on the ocean?
As far as direction wise,
Yeah.
we can do anything from south to north, really, on to
You
with
you
the
get
east
north
wind.
winds hit there?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
north winds
A
like
little bit
up of this side
offshore
would be
or
a slight offshore, which is actually really fun
yeah,
if as long as it's strong enough.
yeah,
It's a little gusty, but the waves are cleaner and it
nice.
can be really fun. And if you just go a little bit south, the north wind becomes side shore. So just because of the way the cape wraps around, so those
And
are really fun.
downwinding, did you suffer through any paddling yet or
I've did a little bit in Hood River, but
well, that's
man,
cheating.
yeah, I haven't done it here. No, I have bad shoulders, and like I
Uh,
did it in Hood River, and I did a few days, and I could get up and do some runs, but then like I get like a dead arm
what
for the
about
rest of the
short
day.
runners?
I've done some short
Yeah,
runners, yeah, and it's not something I'm like super into like some of the guys, but I've done them and they're fun.
yeah,
I personally would rather just more play on the wave
yeah,
than
yeah.
just like actually try to connect waves and
Yeah, Arlen's like that. He's like, dude, he did a downward. I'm like, dude, that was epic. He's like, dude, I just pumped a lot. And I was like, well, I don't know. I like being like miles offshore and
Yeah, I haven't done it
you
like
know,
that. Like that, I would like to. I'm sure I'd love it. But yeah, I don't know if the paddle for me is gonna
forget
work.
it. Pair it, dude.
Yeah,
That's
that I
it.
could see being good because then it's like you're like kind of like I was saying with towing, like you're not like out of breath by the time you
Yeah.
get up. You're kind of more relaxed and able to focus and enjoy it. And
Yeah, I think for that aspect, it's like a game changer, and I'm fully in. I'm not
I can
even
do
gonna
it.
wing anymore.
Well, and you guys get
Honestly,
like real swell offshore. Like, I don't know
we
how much
do.
of that I mean we get
Yeah,
here.
it's
It's
totally
different.
different. You're
Yeah.
probably closer to shore, and
Yeah.
there's definitely builds up the wind bumps. But yeah, we got to be outside the reef, which is already a mile offshore, and then
Right.
we've got this deep trench, and yeah, we get it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it feels sometimes it feel like you're on 10-foot waves out there,
Oh, I'm sure.
right?
Yeah.
You're like bombing down. It's scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's scary,
I
but I love
imagine.
it.
I've done a little bit of that with like the wing and like La Ventana and stuff where you get that big
When's the last
swell.
time you were in Puerto Rico?
It's been a while. It's probably been at least 5, 6 years, maybe more than that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I need to get back over there.
Yeah. Yeah, so anytime you want to come, we got places,
Awesome.
we got
Yeah, I'll take you
hookups.
out. It's an easy trip from here.
I
I
got a
need to.
broken ski I could take you out on. No,
Perfect. My favorite type.
be like "Hey, come over and fix my ski with me."
Yeah, become a ski mechanic. I
Yeah.
probably can help you there.
Yeah. So Billy, thanks for, doing this.
No, man,
This
thanks
this
for
was
having me. And
awesome.
thanks
I
for
know you're
coming.
super busy and everyone, thanks you guys for the event. It's not just you, you've got a whole team behind you,
Oh yeah, our team is.
So
I couldn't have done it without our team.
everyone's
I'd say.
super friendly. They're standing out in the sun all day,
Oh, yeah,
paying attention all
multiple
day,
days.
reading forms all day,
Yeah.
like it's not an easy job and whether they see it or not, we all appreciate it and
Thank you, man.
I'm always stoked to come and support and hang out and you know, share the froth. So,
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming.
thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.